I have recently sold off $106,000 worth of HHIS in my wife's spousal RSP. Another $22,000 worth of EQCL in my own personal RSP. Totally punted. And another $42,000 worth of QQQY in my own personal RSP in the pursuit of FIRE 2026. Now, if any of you have followed my channel for even just more recently, you must be thinking, what's with the pivot? The absolute total swivel. You've probably seen my recent interview with Marcos Mila, and he asked me about my FIRE number. It's in my Blossom portfolio, profile, I should say. And I talked about FIRE at age 45, and I'm 35 right now. Even another recent video I talked about this, but something has happened in my life which is going to totally change the game in a good way, in a really good way, and that is this right here. My wife is pregnant with baby number 4. We are so ecstatic, looking forward to the new baby. We hope we have a girl, as we have three boys currently, 9, 6, and 3. For us, the very thing I think we started thinking about immediately was, okay, in the past I've taken basically a month off with my other kids. My first kid, a week and a half. Would not recommend it. Take the month if you can afford it. For all the fathers-to-be out there, it's your wife will thank you. Oh gosh, where was I? So much to get to. It's going to be a multitude of videos. It really will be. But anyway, the first thing that we thought about was time off. What does that look like? And, you know, I'm in a position now where I was never in with the other kids, which was the fact that I have a portfolio size that can quasi support me, like support my family. It's not a home run. I don't have a portfolio big enough for it to just be super obvious, but creatively I can make some tweaks to it to have it punch up just a little bit more to act like a bigger portfolio. That comes with risks. It does. I wanted to try and take off the maximum amount of time allowable under Canadian law in order to retain your job, which is around 18 months. A year and a half to be with my kids, drive them to school, be involved in a much more engaging way where I'm not hemmed in by the 9 to 5, waking up at 4 a.m., driving to work at 4:30 a.m., getting ready for a 6 a.m. start, driving 2 hours on the way home, get home at like 4:15, 4:30. Like it's a long day. I like what I do. It's just a long day. For a lot of us, we dream about this elusive FIRE. Often is the case, it's aloof. It's just something that we try to reach for but can't. It's like trying to capture the wind. You just can't quite grasp it. It's a nice idea. It's something that I've always, since investing for over the last 5 years, that it's become more real with every single year that, hey, this could actually happen way sooner. And for those who don't know what I do, sometimes I feel like I say it like it's disparaging, like I'm a plumber, but I don't. It's a great trade, and it's provided for my family. My wife hasn't needed to get a job. She's been able to be a stay-at-home mom and take care of the kids, and that I think that's obviously a lot more rare these days, especially living in a expensive city like Vancouver, Canada. This is going to give me the chance to, help out my wife, help out newborn baby, drive my kids to all their various activities, to school, pick them up, but just be much more involved in their lives. And that ultimately is the biggest desire of mine, of wanting to step away. It is. The other desire is to really give this channel a breath of life like it's never had. This thing operates on a shoestring budget of time. And so I want to be able to engage with you all more content, whatever that looks like, is just do more of it. As it's a passion of mine to talk the way I'm talking out to all of you, and just be able to share a story of hopefully maybe something that potentially you could even see in yourselves. Whether you're 10 years younger, 10 years older, I'm 35. Many of you have kids or have had kids, and just want to show that it's possible and it doesn't rely on some micro stock that you got to hope to go to the moon or buy a lottery ticket in order to achieve quote unquote fire. No, it takes time and it takes discipline and some patience and trying things out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, that's the beauty of investing, is that you're always trying to work towards a portfolio that suits your lifestyle. Wanting to spend more time with kids and spend more time on the channel, what does that mean for my portfolio? All these things that I've recently sold off. The portfolio I had was a tremendously awesome portfolio for someone investing for income, doing the 9 to 5, investing in index, proxy index, income funds with some exotic funds in there like HHIS, with some other concentrated, some tech stuff for the growth aspect of it. Not overly aggressive, but for me, it just worked. I had a global fund in there with EQCL. To do what I'm about to do, I need my portfolio to basically act like it's much bigger than it currently is. So in order to do that, to help offset bills and pay for rent and all that kind of stuff, I need to jack up the yield on it. It needs to become a much more aggressive yield focused portfolio. It's not something I wanted because I liked what I had before. I was perfectly happy. I mean, as soon as I sold my condo in June of this year, I locked it in for the past few months, and I never sold anything. I just continually reinvest and add it. I was happy with it, but this change is necessary in order to work towards that day where I step away from work for potentially up to 18 months, and who knows, maybe altogether. But that's going to be the trial period, is those 18 months to see what I can make of the channel and my portfolio in that period of time. So got to get more aggressive on yield in order to support the lifestyle. So I'll be swapping out HHIS with Big Y. Why? Because I'm going to be getting about a 30% yield. Big E's got 33% leverage on it. It's a little bit more concentrated. It's basically a slightly more steroid version of HHIS. Whereas HHIS, I think, at the moment, it has about maybe a 23% yield. Again, Big Y has about 30. So now that I've had exposure to HHIS, Big Y to me is not really the biggest. It's not to get into it so soon with it being so new is not really the biggest leap of faith. I actually took way longer to invest in HHIS. I want to say I took probably 5 or 6 months before I actually invested in it, just to see how it would actually do. And it performed the way I thought it would. Big Y is going to go into both my personal RSP and my wife's spousal RSP. So that'll be probably around $128,000 between those two RSP accounts. And then I'll get into HHIS again in my own personal TFSA. So that's the idea right now. So I want to make room for it. This past week I sold off some stuff, like I mentioned, to make room for that, but I didn't buy in right away. I wanted to leave some time to kind of make sure, okay, these were the positions I sold off. Am I going to stick with it, or does something else potentially change last moment? I don't think they will, but I just wanted to be sure. I'm not in a super big rush. It's not like I'm exactly capturing, missing out on any spectacular extra upside at the moment, because I've captured a lot of that right before I sold all of this stuff. Aggressive yield strategy. And the other component with all this is to make it a little bit beefier is I'll be investing in some margin. I'm sure many of you have seen the fact that I've had Todd Akins from Unconventional Wealth Ideas talking about margin. That dude is super smart when it comes to margin, and just a wealth of knowledge. Todd is. I really enjoyed talking with him. So the way I see it is I'll probably borrow $60,000 roughly. As far as a percentage based on portfolio size, that's about the same as my yield, which right now is in the 16% range. The idea is to pull forward basically a year's worth of distributions, and over the next year I would make around $60,000 if I didn't contribute anything. I just made that money off distributions and reinvested. It would be around $60,000. So I'm going to pull that forward, put that to work. And so that's going to be another way in which, I just beef up the portfolio to help support that from basically late March going forward once baby's born. So aggressive yield strategy, changing it up. I'll be including some margin in there as well. With all of that coupled with probably extracting from, I'll probably beef up the emergency fund, kind of take a little bit from there. The channel is going to help out. It'll help out in a way, but from all these kind of various sources, I can cobble it together. But the other thing I want to do too is not just live off of it. This is the other thing, the other crux, because I want to practice what I preach, is the fact that I still want to be able to reinvest 30 to 50% worth of distributions. And I think that's really critical if you are thinking about going after FIRE, financial independence, retire early. So for me, it's going to be quite the test run, 18 months to build out this channel even further, treat it much more like a business rather than just a hobby and just do whenever I have spare time for. And yeah, it's so exciting. It's going to be quite the adventure. Again, talking about how margin works and is a bigger, concentrating so much yield, like, is that really safe? I mean, ideally, I don't want to stay with these concentrated big yield ETFs. I don't want those to be the focal point of my portfolio forever. I actually want to try to trim them down, and I want to build up the index and proxy index plays. That I know no one talks about them anymore because they're 10%, but the BMAXs and the HDIVs of the world, to me, they're the ideal positions to have and just hold for forever. They're big, boring funds. They touch all corners of the economy. That's ultimately what I want. But for the foreseeable future, I need something much bigger, much more aggressive in the midterm. So I hope that kind of helps sort of shore up where to try to understand kind of where my head's at, especially with baby on the way. It's going to be some good times talking about the experiences of FIRE and achieving it, because right now at work, it's just pedal to the metal. It's, every little bit of overtime I can possibly get, don't get sick, just work as much as humanly possible at this point, because I know those next 6 months they will fly, they'll go quickly, but it's gonna be so worth it. This is an adventure. I can't wait to share, like, in real time what my thoughts are, what the processes are, going after this bigger yielding strategy, aggressive yield strategy with margin mixed in there. It's not that I'm advocating for that. I'm just saying your portfolio should adapt to lifestyle. It should. What you're comfortable with. And in my case, it has to change based on what I want to try and experiment with over 2026 and into 2027. So as always, let me know in the comments below what you think, and be sure to ask your questions, because I do want to include them in other future videos talking about FIRE and how to go about doing it. Is it truly better to go with that maybe more aggressive yield strategy versus staying a little bit more conservative with the index plays? I'm gonna share that in this journey, so be sure to hit all the buttons of the like and subscribe variety, and I'll see you all next video.